morning to all of you. Thank you so much for bearing with. I'm not quite sure what happened. I had a weird pop-up message come up and was like, fill in all this stuff before we'll let you go live. So I had to fill in all this stuff. It took me a second. Sorry, guys. So can you see me? Can you hear me? I should probably put my microphone on. We've got so much exciting news, so much exciting news. I don't know if we've got actual internet problems or it was just the software I'm using had a little glitch. We'll see how we go. Let me know if we've got any sort of lag issues, things like that, because I can't see my thing. It's got glare on it. So, sorry guys. First thing I want to say is welcome to all of you regular chatters who come in. A big thank you to our moderators. We've got Kim Scullen, Jackie Doyle so far that I can see. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys, the blue spanners, if you're new to the chat, these are the guys that help us add in links when I just start rambling off things and they quickly like Google through things and throw links up for us. They're the only people who can add links into the live chat. Also, they can time you out. They can, we call it the spanner hammer, where they will, you know, they can just kick you out of the chat if you're rude and nasty and naughty. Not that they've gotten to do that. I don't think they've actually gotten to kick anyone out yet, have they? Except for that one day. We had one day where we were just like hounded by heaps of people. So that's really cool. The other thing I want to do is welcome some of our new subscribers. We've got Carol Hardesty, Shalid Curtis, Anne Hines, Salima Al-Wadawi, I'm sorry if I killed your name, Salima, Patricia Gallagher, Judy Lee, Teresa Gonzalez, Annalise P, Skycox, Antoinette Demas. So welcome to the chat, those guys. So much stuff. I had like our live stream all planned out. It's going to be talking about Bendigo and how, you know, we start the wind up to get all that going. Except last night, while I slept, I woke up to this huge information from Chiaogoo. So I'm just going to have a little read through the chat here and say good morning to some people. And then I will let you know the news. Okay, so I've got so many in the chat today. Welcome all of you. Good morning, Stacey and Naomi and L'Oreal. Jingling music, and then it went silent. Is L'Oreal back? Like, can anyone hear me? Jackie can hear me. Excellent. You can hear me, all the good. All hail the spanners from Kim. How am I not surprised that Kim says all hail the spanners? Marie Hahn is from Wisconsin. Welcome to the chat, Marie. Thank you. Emma Bow. Hello. D. Thompson. Only when the trolls come out. Thank you. Lindy is loving my shore progress. It's so slow. I've only really been working on it during these live chats because it just sort of sits here. But I am taking it out with me this afternoon because it is a project I can work on while I'm listening, and I'm off to a thing this afternoon where I'll be doing some listening. So I'm really happy. You need to tell everyone about the yarn toilet emoji thing. Oh my gosh, Kim. So, it's probably the other week now, it's at least a week ago, someone told me, oh my God, you know, there's a yarn emoji now for Android. So I'm like, yarn emoji, bam, onto Facebook. Only it didn't show up as a yarn emoji for everybody. For some people it did, and even then it varied color. Other people, it showed up as a toilet, and I had a fiery background, so people were thinking, fiery background, toilet, you know, Chantel's oversharing, but it wasn't, it was just, it was supposed to be a yarn emoji. Anyway, I left the post there because it was quite amusing, but I've not used that yarn emoji since, just in case I'm giving people the absolute wrong information. So yeah, hey Nature Crafts and Samantha Guilfoyle, welcome to the chat. Kim's reminding everybody not to forget to thumbs up. Thank you, Kim. Leanne says she had the same thing happen. Well, I'm kind of glad, Leanne, that I'm not the only one. I'm sad that we're sending out toilets to the world, but okay. Zebra Kitten, welcome to the live chat. You made it. Good evening from Scotland. I can't believe I've caught the live excited much. I know that feeling every now and again because I've not been sleeping well, guys. My asthma's playing up, and so I'm waking up a lot at night, and so I'm not sleeping well. And so sometimes I'll be like wide awake and I'll realize, oh my God, someone that I really love is live. I'm like headphones on, dim the screen as much as possible and just lay in bed watching it and fall asleep. So that's been really cool. Where are we? Kylie from Fiber Lily had the same issue. Yeah, I think any of us on Android who got excited about this new yarn emoji got hit with the toilet. So that was great. Naturecraft said, so I can't type, got to try and crochet the rest of this 182 single crochets. Oh, fun. Glad it's you and not me. Rowan's impression says, it used to be the toilet would show up as a yarn, now is reversed. Oh, it's just a bit sad, isn't it? It's just a bit sad. I can't actually see what you're throwing up there, Jackie. It just looks like 5 little squares, so I don't know. I don't know what that is. Guys, I'm trialing a few new things. So, first thing that I'm trialing is I've got a tea. It's a special tea. Kim Scullen did some serious research, hunted it down for me. I'm going to take a sip. It's from my non-sponsor T2. My non-sponsor. Hi T2, if you'd like to sponsor my videos and supply me with licorice legs and cute teacups, I'd be a-okay with that. But yeah, so Kim's got me some, it's a tea called licorice legs. It's got licorice root and a whole pile of other bits and pieces, and I can actually feel a difference in my throat when I drink it. It really coats things. The one thing I have noticed is that it's a sweet thing. I don't drink sweet tea. I don't add sugar to my tea or coffee. So I really notice this sweetness about it. I'm not sure if I like it. Like, I like that sweetness. I like the actual initial taste, but the aftertaste is not great. Yeah. So, is this your talk for 2 hours tea? I am hoping it is my talk for 2 hours tea, Lindsay. Because today I've got live chat, then I've got a business video chat that I do, and then I'm off to an actual proper YouTuber event that they're holding in Brisbane. What? That never happens. And so there's going to be talking basically from now until 7:30 tonight. So I've got lots of this tea. Okay. Oh, was it a yarn ball in those squares and it's coming up for different people? Okay. All right. Well, I'm just getting squares. Whenever you guys put up whatever that is, I just get these little squares. Okay, so do you guys want to hear the Chiaogoo news? Chiaogoo news. Do. Totally need a logo or something for Chiaogoo news. Now, I've just realized the thing that I use. Oh yeah, I'll have to jump over here to editor. Okay, so can I close this screen off, because that's jumped up the CPU usage on my computer. Hey Diane, welcome to the chat. We're going to jump back over here temporarily so I know I can do that. Banner. What? Banner? More shorties now that I have the set. I love the sound of the shorties. Yeah. Yeah. So when I switched screens then, was that an issue for you guys at all? Oh yeah, I totally froze. And I think that's my computer not dealing with that. Okay. Well, that's going to be fun, because the only way I can do a thing is by... I thought you were going to edit the banner. Is there something wrong with the banner? Like, oh, you want a Chiaogoo news. Oh, okay. All right, I understand. I probably should have thought of that and maybe should have done it, but I didn't, and I can't do it on the fly because I don't have them skills. Well, I do have the skills, but the skills take a lot of effort. So, yeah. So I'm going to jump over here and add something to my screen. Oh, Diane says I can hear you from both sides of my headphones. There was a button that I needed to click, Diane, and I hadn't clicked it, so now I've clicked it. So, yeah, it was me. It was totally me. And I worked it out. Okay, so the first Chiaogoo news, Chiaogoo news is we've got some new products coming. So I'm just going to jump over here for a second, and I'm going to add a picture of our new product. Hang on. There's got to be a way for me to be able to do this without going... No, there's not. I can only... Okay, it's going to be coming in. All right, we've got the Chiaogoo. Hang on. What have I done here? I've put it in the wrong place. Hang on. Okay, right. What I need to do is not stress out. I'd put it in the right place, but I got to do this. I got to do that. What? Okay. Is that news blip sound public domain? I have no idea. So the first thing that we've got here for the Chiaogoo news is they're going to be calling the T-Spin. And what they are is a Tunisian set. And it's got, I'm reading here, it's got 11 hook sizes in the set. Yeah, I had to do a thing to get the screen up, and I've swapped back now, so I should be unfreezy soon. Oh, come on. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, so what has to happen is I put these cute pictures in, and for me to get to them to add them in, I've got to drop to another screen, and it makes my computer run like crazy, which is what freezes it. So we'll need to like stop every second or so just to get that sort of working. It seems to be okay when I'm not changing backwards and forwards between these two things on my computer, so that's pretty insane. But anyway, back to this T-Series. Also not T-Series, oh my god, T-Spin. So they're bamboo Tunisian interchangeable set. They're not going to be available until 1st of April. This is not a April Fool's joke. So I will get some things up available into my, I'll get some stuff up into my web store for pre-orders sort of a bit later on in March so that I can get these in. But what it is you get the gorgeous case, as you can see. There's 14 hooks. Now this includes 3.5mm up to 10mm, as well as a 4.5. So are they like the spin cables, seeing they are called spin? Look, no, it looks like they're using the red cable, as far as I can tell. That looks like they're using the standard red cables. And so what you get in your, well, here you go, I'll tell you what you get in your set. Hang on a second. Alright, you get the hooks, obviously. 4 twist red cables, 2 by 20 centimeter, or the 8-inch ones, 1 35 centimeter, which is 14 inches, and a 55 centimeter, which is the 22 inches. You also get 4 end stoppers, 4 adapters, 2 connectors. Just to go back to the adapters, because it goes up to a 5.5, it goes up past the 5mm. Rather than give you multiple cable sizes, they're including the adapter so that it can step down to go down to the smaller needles. Is there a lip between the bamboo and the collar? Not historically. If they're using the same, I haven't personally touched these, but if they're using the same technology to make these as they make their bamboo interchangeables, which I can't imagine why they wouldn't, there's no lip. It feels beautiful. So yeah, I would pretty well say no, that there's no lip. You get the 4 adapters, 2 connectors, tightening keys, a needle gauge. You get this really cute zippered case. The bamboo hooks are Moso bamboo with a stainless steel join. They've got a pointy head, so they, it's easy to get into your stitches, and they're really smooth like all of their bamboo products are. And they call it a compact zippered book style with 11 label inside pockets and 1 outside zippered pocket. Zippered pocket, that's a hard one to say. Andrew, if only I liked Tunisian. Wow. Hey, welcome to the chat, Daigo. It's been ages. I'm curious about the bump between the hook and the connectors. I've not noticed a bump between the hook and the connectors. Well, sorry, I've used the connectors on the bamboo needles, but not on the hooks. But we can always have a look. I'll get some in, and we'll have a play with them. Another thing, I think you can only use kind of huge sizes for Tunisian. I'm not an expert on that. Nature Crafts, you do tend to have to go up a couple of hook sizes. So if you're using a lace weight yarn, the 3.5mm probably you go to. If you're using like a DK weight yarn that a 4mm is normally where you are, you'd want to head up to that 6.5 point. So you probably won't need those smaller hook sizes unless you like Tunisian crochet and cobweb weight, which it's not my thing. It's not to say it's not a thing, but Chiaogoo don't make their bamboo hooks under a certain size at all. So it's a decision that they've made to maintain quality. Can you use the hooks for conventional crochet? Absolutely, you can. Just don't put a cable on them. You can, because when you have, I don't have a standard hook here, you've just got the hook head and the end, there's no ending, so all you do is not attach a cable, so you can totally use it. In the photo it looks like there is a difference between the width of the bamboo and the steel. I'd have to have a look at that, but I can't, I would need to, I would have to have a look at them, but I can't imagine why they don't for the interchangeables bamboos. You can also use them as normal crochet, absolutely. Tunisian just seems to eat up a lot of yarn. It does, it really does. But it also makes some beautiful fabric, and very warm fabric if you need warmth. I find Tunisian great for making like pot holders and stuff like that. Here it's, can you tell us the cost? I can give you a ballpark on the cost in Australia. They're going to be around, let me have a quick look here. They're going to be around the 150-ish mark for the set in Australian dollars. If you're going to be buying from the US, you're going to be looking at around, I'm just sort of mathing off the wholesale price here. They're going to be around the 130, 140-ish mark. So yeah, it depends. Like it depends on what the dollar, for me. Oops, I'll just whack the microphone. For me, it really depends on what the dollar's doing. I try just to go with Chiaogoo's recommended retail rate, and then just add whatever the exchange rate was that I had to import them in under. So yeah, it's between knitting and crochet. I would not consider Tunisian between knitting and crochet. I just consider it a whole third craft. It's different. It's a different skill set that you require. It's a different way to do things. But yeah, I love it. I still think it's fun. Is it more than traditional crochet? In what way, Jackie? I'm not quite sure. I think C2C is pretty good for Grafgans, just saying. It is, but not everybody likes C2Cs either, so there's that. Okay, so there's more Chiaogoo news, so I'll put this piece of paper, Alright, now I'm just going to jump over to the other screen. It's going to probably freeze for a second, and then I'll jump back, okay guys? Are you ready for me to freeze? There's got to be a better way for this. Okay, so now we are onto the Shorties Blue X-Flex. So what X-Flex is, it is a really good quality, it is the same sort of nylon coated metal cables that Chiaogoo are famous for, but it's a little bit more flexible. So the metal sections are dashed finer so that you've got a bit more flexibility. They're expanding the twist shorty, so if you've got the existing little red pouch, this is not an extension, this is not a you got the red pouch so you miss out on this stuff. It's a totally separate kit, so this does totally separate sizes, and you get blue cables instead of the red cables. I will tell you what is in here. I've got a piece of paper, sorry, just so you know while I'm looking over here, it's because I have a piece of paper telling me. The twist shorties are now, this set includes 3.5mm up to 5mm tips. These tips have the small diameter join so that they fit onto all the small cables. So instead of the red tips fit on the mini cables, these fit onto the small cables. They are all hollow stainless steel as usual. The set comes in this gorgeous blue nylon pouch and will come with the new blue extra flexible cables, a tip sleeve, end stoppers, cable connectors, stitch markers, needle gauge, all the standard stuff that they put into their sets. The blue cables are just like the red ones but more flexible. These will not be available in Australia until after June, after mid-June. So they are announcing them at the H&H in Köln in Germany in March, and then they will be at TNA in June, and then they'll be available to us after that. They'll be a similar price to the existing mini sets, so for me they're about 130 Australian dollars. So that's exciting too. And then we've got you can then, they're also looking at making it so that we'll be able to, I'm just double checking something here, hang on a second. Oh, I may have told a great big fat lie. You ready? Fat lie alert, fat lie alert. Pre-orders are accepted from April 1, ship date is June 1. So if we can get those pre-orders in early, you can get them in early June. So I tell massive lies, not the end of June, beginning of June. More flexible cables, didn't know that was possible. Yeah, the reds are lovely, but I do find, especially if you're magic looping, the reds are just that little bit firm, and I haven't touched these, but I'm really hoping it means I can magic, well, I mean, they're too short for magic loop. Let's just, you know, go right there. But I'm hoping that this technology means that you'll have an option for a wire, a nylon coated wire cable that you can flexi on. The other thing is the flexi cables will be available. So the red mini cables and the blue flexi cables are going to be available on their own soon. That's June 1 as well. Yeah, so that's our Chiaogoo news. What do you think of our Chiaogoo news that we had today? I'm just going to go over back to get rid of our picture. Hang on, bear with me. It's going to be all like glitchy. Go away, picture, there we go. Oops, hang on, get rid of that, get rid of that. I've got a picture open. Oh, what I've done is I've opened all the pictures. There we go, alright. Okay, I think we're all good. I think we're all good. What do you think about this? Are there any of these things that you would be like jumping in for, like, yeah, I want that set? For me, I am seriously looking at the Tunisian set. I didn't get into the red shorties because they were sort of not really in the sizes that I would use for that sort of thing. But seeing these blue shorties, I am up with the blue shorties. Lindsay says, I literally just want the blue cables in longer lengths. Lindsay and anybody else watching, if there is a Chiaogoo item that you would love to see, or something you would love to see Chiaogoo make, on their website is a wish list where you can go in and make suggestions. I do it all the time. I was like throwing stuff up there about wanting interchangeable hook sets, and if enough people get in on it and say, hey, I want this as well, Chiaogoo try to make it happen. So as you know, after a little while, it did take a couple of years, like well, I mean, I'm sure I was not the first, but since I first messaged, then it was definitely, it takes some time because they're very, very thorough. But if there's something you really, really want, then it is like definitely a way to get it out there. Send them a message. Kim's asking if we can get pre-order discount prices. I tend to try and do a bit of a discount on the pre-orders. I'll have to look into it a bit more, double check the wholesale price with a calculator, because I was kind of just rough adding it in my brain, which that's never a good thing. Me and math, not good. So I will definitely have a look at a pre-order discount on my website. If I had the cash, I'd pounce on all of it. I know that feeling. Can you use the blue cables with the other mini sets? I would say no, as the blue cables are a small end, not a mini end. You would need, no, actually you just couldn't use, you can't use small cables on minis. You can use mini tips on small cables and small tips on large cables. But yeah, you can't use, oh, hang on a second. Did I just say that, or was it the other end? I'm going to have a look. But there is small end cable, not a mini end cable. If there's yarn involved, I'll give the craft a go. That's actually a really good point. I'm pretty well there with you. Never tried Tunisian crochet. I do knit a little, but not enough for a set. Yeah, I understand that. I would totally try out some of the Chiaogoo bamboo hooks. I'm sure that they will be similarly made. Similarly, that's a word I struggle with. So if you like the feel of the standard Chiaogoo hook, then you pretty well know that you will like their interchangeable set. Christine Crisp says, looks interesting. I haven't tried the Chiaogoo or the higher yet. I'm definitely wanting to get a more flexible cable. Jackie Doyle is currently looking for the wish list page. Is it called wish list? I think it is called wish list. It's in a random spot. If you can't find it, I'll dig it out and pop it over into the Fibrific Fun Zone later. Mini on small cables, small on large with adapters. That's right. You can't go down as the cable end's bigger than the needle. Yes. So, yeah, that's right. There are some adapters, and the adapters quite often go the opposite way than what most people want, which is frustrating. Naturecraft says, I love their metal head bamboo handle ones. The flat handle feels neat. I like those handles personally. I really do prefer a hook with a handle, unless I'm going to like the really big sizes, like 10 mil and up. Then I'm like, give me, you know, I'll just hold on to that stick, or, you know, because some of them are enormous. Something just popped up on my screen and I didn't see it. Whoops. But yeah, so we've got all this really cool stuff coming out from Chiaogoo. Yeah, so it's just, there's so much stuff always happening. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was Bendigo and what it takes for me to prepare for Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show. So for those of you that are not in Australia, Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show is kind of like our equivalent to Rhinebeck. It's not the same, but it's probably as close as we get to Rhinebeck. And so there's lots of hand dyers, and we have it's an actual sheep show as well. So there's people judging sheep. There's sometimes, if you're lucky, you can actually buy winning fleeces. I've been pretty lucky in previous years to be able to snag some of the gorgeous black and coloured fleeces. So yeah, it is great. And for me, it is my biggest in-person event that I do each year. And so I'm looking at this wondering what's wrong, and I think I've got one extra set of repeats there. I'm gonna have to block that. Sorry, it's bugging me. But any alpaca, look, honestly, I couldn't tell you. Nature's Crafts, I don't use alpaca. I avoid it like the plague because I'm allergic to it. So I don't go near any displays with it, but it's definitely a sheep and wool show. I know that there are other animals than sheep there. I just can't think of what they are off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'm probably not the best person to ask that question. Oh, there you go. Jackie Doyle asks, some, but mainly sheep. Thank you. Thank you. I just don't know, because I'm like, I basically go to my shed and stay there and nick off to the bathroom and come back, and sometimes I get to go and have lunch, which is exciting. And then some Sunday mornings I get to run around. Yeah, it's sorry, I'm reading messages thinking whether or not I need to have tea and then trying to form a sentence at the same time. It's hard. Naturecraft says, oh, I like alpaca fiber, I can wear it. I know that's weird. It's not weird, it's totally weird. It's just, sorry, it's totally not weird. It's just I can't, so I don't look around for it, that's all. I know they have a competition category for goats too, so probably alpaca as well. Yeah, that's a good point, Christine. You need to do some lives while you were there. I did some last year, and they're up on the website. I've done a couple of little lives where I'm running around, not big lives like this, although that has been brought up before as well, that I actually set up a proper live stream on my stall, like bring the gear with me and actually do a proper one. And I think that would be fun. I've just got to work out the logistics of that, not just setting it up, but also the stall while I'm not working on the stall, you know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. But that's definitely something that's actually on my list for this year, is for things that I'm going to be doing. So when we're planning out these big events, it's not even just a case of, okay, I'm going to do this big event, how much stock should I take? It's also accommodation and travel and working out how the stock's going to get there. For me, Bendigo is around 1,000 kilometres away. Is that about right? Would that be a safe? I think I drive nearly 2,000 kilometres to get there and home. I think, is that, I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe it's 2,000 one way. Someone look up on a map and tell me how far I'm driving from Brisbane to Bendigo. And so I drive down in my X-Trail, Previously, I've just filled the X-Trail. Now we're looking at the other options of whether or not I start shipping some things down to a friend who lives in Melbourne and for her to bring it up to Bendigo when she comes, versus me having a trailer and driving with a trailer all that way. So there's all these sort of things that run through your head, and then you're like, right, I've worked out how much space I have to cart. I know how big my stall is. I've been very, very fortunate to have the same stall for many years. Kim says it's 1600 Ks. Is that one way? Is that one way? Australia is huge. Yes, it is. Australia is enormous. A lot of people think of Australia as this little island down the bottom of the world, but it's actually not. It's quite large. That's quite a long way for a launcher. It is, but I live in a tropical state or a subtropical state. There's not really a lot of yarn craft events near me. There's a couple, but nothing to this scale. And I go to the ones that are near me. There's a brilliant one called the Redlands Spinners and Weavers group have what's it called? Something and warped and twisted. I think that's what they call the Redlands show. The Redlands show that they have. It's in June. It's on a Tuesday. It's a bit weird, but it works. And so it is. It's very, very, it's really quite close. It's only about 40 minutes away, so that's fantastic. But for Bendigo, because I do have this distance, this 17-hour drive, and because I do it on my own, I do have to stop and have breaks, and I stay overnight halfway down and things like that. It's a long journey, and so I have to plan this out, because if I forget something, I can't just nick back and grab it. And because of the timing of things, I've got no way to get it shipped to me, even express post, in the time, because I'm actually traveling quicker than what the post could, if that makes sense. So it's a bit crazy, but it's such a long way, and it's definitely worth going to. If I wasn't going as a stall holder, I would still go, I think. I would fly down and catch the train to Bendigo. I would not drive. But I would definitely still go. It's fantastic. So, so planning out the space that I have in my car, as well as what stock I think will sell, the new Chiaogoo items, making sure I always have like a lot of 4mm. In Australia, the 4mm things are like the bomb. Everyone wants 4mm hooks, 4mm needles, and so I try to have a lot of those. But what always happens, because I have a finite amount of square meters that I'm compact to travel, is I run out. And there's always those people that come in on the Saturday afternoon. It runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they get grumpy because I don't have what they want anymore, and I did, but I didn't bring enough. So, you know, it's one of those things. Are you doing the Redlands show this year? It's June 18th this year. Absolutely, I am doing Redlands show. I love Redlands show. I highly recommend Redlands show. It's the Redlands Spinners and Weavers group. It's not actually the Redlands show, just so to clarify for those that are local. It's held at the Cleveland Entertainment Center. It's an indoor event. It's fantastic. Naturecraft says, we have a wool festival too. Sheep, alpaca, goats, rabbits. Marion reckons I need to move to Melbourne. I've seen your weather, Marion. I'm not actually that excited. I love the idea of moving to Melbourne though. It's always been one of those amazing places. I love visiting, and I hate coming home because I miss it. Like, I love the atmosphere. It's one of those cities that you just go to and you're just like, I like it here. So whereas I don't have that feeling in Sydney, I don't have it in Brisbane City. I live a 45-minute away, not in peak hour, 45-minute drive into the heart of town, and I don't go in. So tonight I'm going in for the first time in, it'll be 9 months. So yeah, a bit scary. You can all move to Melbourne. Oh, you guys are fighting over me. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Tamantha loves Melbourne. Yeah, I absolutely love Melbourne. It hailed yesterday. I heard about that, and that it was quite a cold day. Considering that it was so hot here yesterday, we actually put the air cons back on because it's hot and humid and muggy and horrible. Yeah, I'm just going to change to this one because I'm not knitting at the moment. Trying to convince hubby to go with me, but he doesn't want to give up his footy. Do you blame him, really? And Sally, why not just come by yourself and hook up with some yarny friends, and just have a good time with your friends? That's what I would say. We're getting some dropped frames happening here, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness me, my internet must be slowing down a dash, but that's all right. We'll get through. I hate hot weather. What is cold in Australia? I'll consider 15C cold, but I'm a Queenslander, so I consider like 18 cold. Whereas if you live in Victoria, what do you guys consider cold? Like 10? I don't know. I think it depends. Our states are very, very, excuse me, very much, Queensland's really hot for the most part. Sydney gets a bit of hot and cold. So yeah, it just really depends. Oh, I have some spare parts. In some parts we can get snow in the mountains. Mount Borbor had snow already. Like, it's the middle of summer. Well, it's actually technically autumn in Australia now, but it's the middle of it was the middle of summer and Borbor got snow. So it is bizarre. I personally have not played in snow. I've seen snow. I have stood in a car park and had it snow on me, like just little bits. And I was wearing a black coat so I could see the little white bits before they melted. And that's it. I've never put my hands in like a big... I went to New Zealand in winter, except it was so slushy by the time we got to see it. It was not good. I couldn't play in it. So that's the closest I've come to snow, because I've got busted knees. And busted knees and cold weather and slippery surfaces should never go together. So my husband and daughter, they go down to Victoria. Victoria or New South Wales? I don't know where they go. They go somewhere each year to go and ski. They stay in like really cheap accommodation, and they have to drive up to the mountain every day, and you know, they do it on the cheap, but they get to do it. And I think it's a really important time. Actually, they do it in that last week. The last week of Abby's school holidays, they come home on like the Friday or Saturday. I leave for Bendigo the following Tuesday. I think it could be because of me that they decide to go away. So, you know, because I'm like, oh my God, don't talk to me. What are you going to do at dinner? I'm not cooking dinner. I'm cooking 40,000 skeins of yarn. You know, I'm not a very good person to be around in that final week. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to do this thing and I have to do it all right now. Yeah. They go to Jindy, New South Wales. Yeah, I think they do go to Jindabyne. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. But so for me, for organising for Bendigo, so I've already, I don't have any here to show you, but I've already started listing out how much of different things I need to buy to get into stock. I've started working out how much yarn I want to take, because I have like this wish list. It's the list that I just write the things I want to take. I don't look at the cost. I just go, right, I want to take 1,500 skeins of yarn. I want to take, you know, 5 of each set of Chiaogoo plus extras of the popular ones. I want to take 6 of every size of Chiaogoo things plus 20 of the 4 mils, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I have this ridiculous wish list that there is no possible way that I can A, fit it anywhere, and B, afford half of it. So I basically use all my company money now, between now and Bendigo, just buying more and more stock and just hoarding it and stockpiling it and trying to just keep things flowing and moving so that there's, you know, so I can make my stockpile bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I kind of go from there. And that's been how I've done it historically. So going forward this year, I want to make it a bit more realistic and planned out. Does that make sense? Because you guys know I'm all about making my things work better, like my processes work, and for me to have less like, oh, that didn't work, or that didn't happen, or like, you know, that week before Bendigo being an absolute nightmare. Because by the time I leave for Bendigo to do that 1,600 kilometre drive each way, I'm already exhausted. And it's not safe and it's not smart. I'm getting older, and I have to allow for this stuff. I get tired faster, you know, all these things. So I'm learning some different tricks and some different ways to really deal with that. It's also very cold and the air is very thin, so it does affect my breathing and my asthma. So yeah, there's lots of stuff. So this year I'm planning, it is March, it is early March, and my list is done. Usually the list starts happening by the end of April, and then I'm like, oh my god, I can't do it because I'm silly and didn't plan it soon enough. Leanne says I have to share the things I buy. I try to do that. Fortunately, I have a dye wench now. I know, and that's going to make a huge difference for me, Andrea. Just so you know, Andrea, I'm looking at you. It is definitely helping me to plan things better, and we've done some expansions already. We've already doubled down on what we can dye at any one time. We've bought that new equipment, like the spinner. Love the spinner. I've got my little spinning wheel jury rigged up to be a skein twister. It's not perfect, but it does the job. So lots of things. Is Bendigo your biggest income event of the year? Yes, it is, Christine, by a long shot. Lots of dyeing I'm so excited about now. I have new things now. Yes, we have new things and tongs, both. So you're going to write down the dye formulas this year so you can repeat them, or will it be like your usual surprise dyeing? There will be a dash of both. I will be writing down like for the most part I'll try to remember to write everything down, and Andrea is very good at reminding me that I need to do this, especially if I want her to help me. She's not a mind reader, funnily enough. And so having someone there who is trying to work with me also means I can't just rely on my own memory. So I am writing things down better for myself. But also, it's also good to sometimes have some one-of-a-kind stuff that you can't repeat. It's exciting and it's fun, and I know for myself as a purchaser that I love getting yarn that I know was a limited release colour, but as a dyer I want to make it more intentional, not just, oh well, I didn't write it down so I can't do that one again even if I wanted to. So yeah, every year you do colorways and say that was awesome but I've no idea what it did. See, that's exactly it, Kim, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm getting better. I've got notepads all around the dye pots. I definitely redo them. All the MLCs I've written down all the way how to do them. Some of them I don't want to do again because the amount of work that was involved was tricky, but I've written down how to dye them all so I can repeat them if we need to. But I do like having limited release colours, exactly, limited release. And I think it's important to have limited release as well. I'm getting better at speaking, Chantel, says Andrea. Sorry, Andrea. I didn't expect for you to have to learn a new language. She does. She does so doohickey now. Oh, sorry, Andrea. Oh, wow. Simone says, I'm glad you like your new yarn spin dryer. I love my yarn spin dryer so much. I think it's brilliant. Like every time I go to use it, I'm in awe by it. I stand there and watch it. Like I could walk just the 2 meters away and work on something else. But I stand there and watch it like a kid. Like, how much water is this one gonna get out? Like, oh, it is ridiculous. It's truly ridiculous. But I love it. I absolutely love it, and I love equipment that saves us effort and time. But also, I think it's making the yarn softer because the yarn's having it's kind of like, think like towels, right, guys? So when you dry your towels on the clothesline, they've had to sort of be out in the sun with the water basically slowly dripping off them, and they become crunchy. But if you get them into the dryer and they've had the water sort of sucked out of them, they're soft. Well, I think the spinner's doing something a little bit in between. I'm getting all the moisture out, so when I hang it out to dry, it's drying so much faster. It's just insane. How did you make your skein winder? I will pop out a little video, Simone, but basically I had a spinning wheel that I wasn't using, and I got my hands on a really thick, like good quality end off a coat hanger. Like, I pulled apart a wooden coat hanger and I literally screwed it in to the flyer of this spinning wheel. Like, yeah. And then I just treadle, and so I hook it over the thing, make sure my skein's all nice, and I hold it tight and back a little, and then I count how many treadles to get the right thing. And while you know, you're using your feet and your arms, it is definitely nowhere near the same sort of, you know, workout that you get from skeins with the old way. The yarn gets fluffed up. No, it doesn't, Christine. So I think, do you guys have you heard of the actual, like, what do you call them? Twin tubs. You know the old twin tubs where you had the washer bit and then you pull it into the spinner bit and then you put the lid on it and let it spin out, and you had to do it all manually? It's very, very similar to that, except this thing is like the spinner of a twin tub that's on its own, and then then it's actually juiced up. Like, most spinners go at around sort of the 1400 RPMs. This is 2500 RPMs. So within about 2 minutes, it's pushed out so much water, and it's centrifugal. So the yarn just pushes down a little and maybe out a little, but it's not going all over the place. It's just basically being pushed to the sides, and the moisture is just going straight through the walls and then out the drain. So it is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And there's no wear and tear on the yarn, whereas what I was doing before was they were going into my front loader spin cycle, which is a 15-minute cycle, and they would be jumbled up and, like, you know, and it was a lot of extra work for us to untangle them and make them pretty. Now it's fantastic. Marie loves crunchy towels. What's wrong with you, Marie? Sorry, Marion. Marion, what's wrong with you? It aerates the yarn. Yeah, look, it definitely brings more air into the yarn and it dries a lot faster, but I wouldn't say it fluffs it up as such. Andrew does have to learn how to treadle a spinning wheel now, absolutely. Andrea says that my arms were so sore after hand twisting this month's Mystery Lace Club. The kids kept laughing at my dead arms. Absolutely. I know that pain, which is why I got you to do it. Because I didn't want to do it. Oh. And I had another job to do. I'm sure I was doing something else. I wasn't just sitting there. Yeah, I was labeling and getting, that's right, I was doing lots of other jobs. I remember now. I remember. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible at all. It doesn't get squished by being tumbled. That's right. That's right. I just think it's like anything. When you've got the right tools for a job, it makes the job easier. And it's not to say you can't do the job without the right tools. I've been doing this job for 5 years without the right tools. And you kind of get to a point where you realize, I want to do more, but I can't with what I've got. What do I need to make it so I can do more and have less physical problems? And just getting some of these little bits and bobs and tweaking how I do things, and sometimes just straight up changing how I do something. It really does help. It really does help. Where are we? We have the same T2 bottle. This T2 bottle is my friend. I love it. And why she didn't come up with her hack until she had to do the winding. That's exactly right, Kim. That's why, because I had to wind 110 minis or something like that. So just to put it into perspective, a normal skein takes 18, well, how we used to do it, like 18 twists. A mini took 25 twists to get it just right. I really would have preferred more, but 25 times 100 was going to kill me. So I was just like, oh my gosh, no. Sally Cole is just sitting here filling out an account application to see if she can sell King Cole yarn on her website. Good luck, Sally. I hope you can. It's a really fun yarn to use. So are you calling me a tool? I'm not calling you a tool, Andrea. You and I use the tools. We're the tool users. Marion says, so good it didn't cost dollars. Look, I agree with you. And it's not to say that down the track I'm not going to buy the skein twister, because I think it's a fantastic tool. And I really, 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 really want one. But at the moment, I can do without it. And so I will pour money into stock rather than into more tools for a little while. We'll see how long I can put up with this. It does the minis fantastically. It's not quite as fantastic on the full-size skeins. It's doable, but not quite as fantastic as the minis. So it's a fun one. It's an absolute fun one. We've got quite a few people in the live chat here today, so welcome to everybody who is here. What are you all working on right now? I know some of you can't talk because you are at work, or you're away from a keyboard and doing evil things like putting this up on the television. I heard of someone else who did that yesterday. I'm just like, wait, what? Kim says, does it need a bigger hook? No, the hook size is fine. It's more that the particular spinning wheel that I've used has magnetic release on its flyer head, and sometimes the torque in the twist just flings the flyer head off, so whoops. So you kind of just got to watch it. Otherwise you've really got to start again and find the part and put it back to, it was just the thing I chose to do. Rowan's is working on a unicorn. That sounds amazing. Andrea's still going on her rainbow MLC. You've got to be nearly finished, right? Nearly finished. Rebecca is working on a sock. So how would you go about getting a job with a yarn company? Well, I don't know, Donna. I've never worked for a yarn company. I just started one. I wouldn't really know how best to suggest that. I would say first things first, though, you need to be physically fit. There is a lot of lifting. And my body does not cope. And I know if I was hiring somebody, they'd need to be fitter than me. You need to be able to be on your feet a lot. Obviously, if you're dying for a yarn company. But I'm probably not the best. You're probably better off to. I don't know the answer to that question very well, other than what I know I need and what I look for. Leanne's making her second vintage throw, just 3 border rounds to go. Go, Leanne! Zebra Kitten's got too many whips on the go, but just now currently working on a campfire cardigan for her 3-year-old granddaughter. Lindsay's working on a scarf cowl in seed stitch. I love seed stitch. Sally says that, oh bugger, I need to get an ABN. Yeah, Sally, sorry, I assumed you would have had one. You can just get one online. You can just log in and do one. There's a difference between having an ABN and being registered for GST. You can get an ABN like quickly. It doesn't take long. I gave up with crafting during chat. Sorry, Kim. Jackie finished her February MLC yesterday, including sewing in the ends, and now she's onto her Granier socks, which was an MLC late last year. I think, was that November's, was the Granier socks? Angela has said working on a cowl, autumn leaf crochet, one that buttons down. Oh, excuse me. That sounds lovely. Darla's on Tunisian dishcloths. Hang on. I got a little tickle, the dry tickle. There's that point in your throat, and anyway, I got that. It's great. MSAK is finishing her Havana hopefully today. Here we go. Jackie Doyle says, I've seen that skeins in New Zealand were after staff. I seriously considered moving there and applying. That'd be a good way to work out what companies want, is have a look at old staff listings and start there and build those skills up, and then be able to go, look, I've done this, 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 and this. But also, like, sometimes it's an advantage to not have too much skill in a particular method of dyeing or what have you, because they'll have their own that they want you to learn. Christine says, yes, you should have an ABN to sell stuff on your website. Absolutely, I agree. Courage One just got her Chiaogoo twist shorties and switched them out from working with the Addy Flex Flips bamboo #1. So I have a 3-inch tip, matched it with a 2-inch tip, and I like it. That's fantastic. I'm glad that you like it. I love the flexibility of them, of being able to make them what you need and not be like stuck with like a 9-inch or an 8-inch or whatever. You can have a 9-inch up to a 4, it was 8 to 14 inches, I think it is. Vintage throw sounds interesting, Leanne from Joss. If you want to toss a picture over into the Fibrific Fun Zone so we can see that, that would be great. If any of you want to throw pictures of what you're working on today into the Fibrific Fun Zone on Facebook, that would be fantastic. Zebra Kitten says, my name is Lorna. I'm sorry, Zebra Kitten. Lorna. I'm really bad at remembering people's names, like, unless they like pop up. I do remember some, and I will try. I will definitely try. Two Arctic Wolves is late. Hey, Two Arctic Wolves, you missed the Chiaogoo news. But you can go back and watch the replay and get all the goss on the new sets that are coming out. I'll do a quick 5-second recap. Are you ready? It's probably longer than 5 seconds, but I'm going to do it anyway. They're bringing out an interchangeable Tunisian hook set in a gorgeous case, matching the other sets. They are bringing out the blue flex sets in the shorties. So you've got the red shorties, which is one size range, and the blue shorties, which are on another size range, which their cables are more flexible. They're going to be making it so that you can buy the shorty cables individually rather than having to buy them in the little sets. I think that's it. I think that's right. Is everything? I don't know. Let me know if I forgot something. Kim says she calls me Tammy all the time. She's terrible with names. Yes, I am. I am. I'm dreadful. Abby thinks it's hilarious. Especially when I call Kim Tammy. And I don't know why I do it. They look nothing alike. I know them both in real life. And I call Tammy Kim. It's like they've got the wrong names. They've got the wrong names as far as I'm concerned. So, got to go look for my tax file number. Absolutely, Sally. Good luck with that. But yeah, it's I'm terrible with names, and I like people, like, it's not until someone, like, say someone comes up to meet me in real life at like one of these events, which is starting to happen a little bit, and I do get a little nervous because I like this. I like that you guys are over there and I'm over here. It's a real personal space issue thing that I have going on. But I also love meeting you guys in real life and actually seeing what you're making. So my brain is torn between, you know, like, oh no, there's personal space, and oh no, there's not personal space anymore. But I really love being able to see what everyone's working on and what they're doing, and talking and meeting and that sort of stuff. I find it really, really fun. But I also do just get a little stressed out. But people have to introduce themselves as whatever their Instagram or YouTube handles are. They have to go, oh, hi, you know, my name's Lorna, but I'm Zebra Kitten on YouTube. And I'll be like, oh, right, I know who you are. You know, so, yeah. It's terrible. I'm pretty bad. Rowan's Impression says it's easy. My name's Rowan. Well, that does make it easy, doesn't it, Rowan? And that actually answered a question that's been in my brain for a really long time. I wasn't sure if it was Rowan's Impressions based on the Rowan yarn, or if you're a human person, and then if you're a human person, where you're a boy or a girl. And not that it actually matters, but I don't know, my brain tries to build things around people, and if I don't know, I don't know. Samantha says, I sometimes go by Tammy, so I completely confuse you. Don't do that. Don't do that, Samantha. That is not fun. Deborah says, hi all. Hey Deb, welcome to the chat. Don't forget to thumbs up, people. Rowan is a girl. Thank you, Rowan. Don't forget to thumbs up. Thumbs ups are great. What thumbs ups actually do, which I've probably told you 14,000 times, is what they do is they let YouTube know, like, you sitting here watching for this amount of time is the first big old, like, YouTube's like, woohoo, they're loving it. But if you actually go to the effort to comment here in the chat, that's another big old, like, woohoo from YouTube. And sometimes, especially if you can't comment for whatever reason, even just clicking the little thumb up button, that lets YouTube know that you're engaged and that you're in the discussion and you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more like this. So YouTube is really, really into all of that sort of stuff. And therefore, and that's why we ask. That's why all YouTubers say, hey, do this and do that and do this. And it's more just so YouTube know you're interested. It also, you know, it doesn't hurt my self-esteem to see, ooh, I got 40 thumbs up during the live stream. Woohoo! You know, like a record. I don't know what the record is during a live stream. Maybe we should start looking into that. No, we won't. I don't need a numbers game. A numbers game will just mess with me. Two Arctic Wolves thought my name was Mum. Yeah, I get that feeling sometimes too. Jackie says, I don't get caught up on what people call me as long as they are being nice. I agree with you. I had one of Abby's teachers keep calling me Charmaine, and I was answering to it, and Abby was like, but your name's not Charmaine. And I'm like, I am so used to it, Abby. It's totally fine. MSAK Spain is girl, and my name is Addie. Hey Addie. And look, I know full well, like especially with the gender neutral or sort of quirky usernames, it is to protect yourself, and it is to create a level of anonymity. I have one myself when I'm gaming. It's a gender non-specific sort of matey-uppy name, and the image is not of a person, and it's because I need that level of disconnect. And I totally understand. So if you guys don't want to know, that you don't want to share this, don't share it. I totally understand. I totally understand. Courage says, do you have a group on Ravelry as I join in a New York minute? I do have a group on Ravelry. It's just not very active. I'm really sorry to say. Kim, do you reckon you could toss in a link to the Ravelry group, please? Definitely more active in the Fiberific Fun Zone on Facebook if you're into Facebook. And I'm trying to be more active on Ravelry, but we all know about Chantel and her trying. Hello, Patreon. But yeah, I'm not great. I'm not great at spreading myself thin. So I'm most active on Instagram and Facebook and here on YouTube. Kim, this tea is working, just so you know. And I'm glad I've got a second tea bag of it, because this is the tea. Kim sourced me like a little trial packet of the tea, and I've steeped it once and I've put it aside to let it dry so I can try and steep it again, because I'm a cheapskate. But I do have a second tea bag, so I'm hoping that between the additional steepage and the new tea bag, I'll be able to get through this big long day of talking. Jackie says, do we have any guys in here? I know we do at times, and then I feel bad when I'm like genderizing and calling everyone girls or ladies or whatever, and then I remember, no, we definitely have some blokes in here. And I don't mean to make it a non-inclusive group, and so I have to keep reminding myself that there are people in here that aren't girls. Yeah. Donna Carr says, I just learnt to knit I-cord on circular needles. Really? I've always used like double pointers or something for I-cord, because wouldn't it be annoying? I suppose it depends on how big your I-cord is. Because wouldn't the cable and everything just get annoying? Because you'd be like, you knit your stitches and slide it to the other end. Oh, no, as long as it's a short cable, it'd be fine, wouldn't it? Rowan's wants to know what tea it is. I'm drinking a T2 blend called, Licorice Legs. It's a licorice root tea. And it's supposed to help with coating your vocal cords and things like that. As you guys know, I've been having more and more problems as I go through these long days of talking, because I do spend a lot of time not talking, and then I have these big like, and I've been really slack, and I haven't been doing vocal exercises, which I realized this morning, and I should probably get back onto those as well. Just a quick question, what would you put when filling out the industry section on the ABN? Retail, I would assume. I would assume retail, I think, because you're reselling other people's products, so you're a retailer. Jackie Doyle popped the Ravelry group in. Thank you, Jackie. There should have been enough for a couple of cups. He said, yep, no problems. I'll definitely do that. I've got a big thing in here, and this is bigger than a cup. So, Zebra Lorna has said, talking of Abby, has anyone made the Abby shawl that Claire did? I made it. I love it. It's not in here. It's in the house. What colour did I make mine in? I can't remember what colour I made mine in. Oh, I know. I made it in a colour that I can't repeat because it was an accidental end of the run soak up the dye exhaust one that I did for myself. Did you hear back from Talia for Tea for Talia? No, I have not. I'm going to message her again. Leanne made the Abby shawl. Donna says, yeah, it's a shorter cable. I have some double points, but they aren't the right size. Fair call, fair call. Apparently T2 in the city was closed last week. That's why I had to go to Garden City to get tea for hubby. Ah, well, I appreciate your effort. 500, Chintamani says it's a 500ml bottle and it keeps the tea hot for over 8 hours. It doesn't just keep tea hot for over 8 hours. This thing, sitting on a bench, basically think outdoors, Bendigo, middle of winter, can keep your tea hot for 8 hours. It's fantastic. I've got a friend's birthday next month and I'm thinking about making it for her. I'd totally make it. If she's a shawl wearer or even just a person who likes to wear woolen things, make it with a really nice squishy yarn and it'll be gorgeous. It'll be absolutely gorgeous. Joss said that she's made it in the coffee coloured yarn. Rowan is thinking of making the baby shawl. Chintamani says, I love them so much. I love it so much too. I bought this about, what would it be now? It'd be 2 years ago. And I got one for me and one for Emma. Because I buy Emma, who helps me out down at Bendigo. I buy her a treat every year as like a thank you for being awesome. So I got her this and like some tea and stuff like that to go in it. And it was so funny. And we still do it. We send messages to each other. And like we'll be sitting with, you know, you'll have that quiet moment at the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show where it's like everything's insane. And then you sort of lean back on the bench going, oh. And then we take a sip of our tea and we're like, still hot, and we just keep doing it. Like we haven't stopped. It's very sad. It is quite sad that we do it. I think my only issue that I have with it is that, especially on those 8-hour days, I'd love it to be just that dash bigger. But generally, it's fine. It's a good size. Leanne says, oh yes, make the Abby shawl. You will not regret it. I gifted mine and it's well loved. The Abby shawl. Dang, autocorrect. Now, I need to tell you guys something very important. Are you ready? It's really important. Abby's spelled A-B-B-I-E. Now, while I don't get all panicky over my name because I'm over it and I'm an adult, Abby is not. And she gets the irrits so bad when people spell her name the other Abby way. Like, she got a Christmas card from a family member spelled incorrectly and she was livid. So yeah, it was quite funny. Chintamani says it's really good for keeping things icy cold too. Yes, it is. I put just really cold water in there sometimes. Although I've learned a thing, when you've got vocal cord problems, icy cold drinks are bad. But it's summer in Queensland, so I'm still drinking icy cold drinks. Make the drink container from T2. Sorry, miss it. Sorry, Simone. This is my tea thermos from T2, not a sponsor. Totally not a sponsor. Please sponsor me, T2. And it is, I don't have the, I'll send you a photo, but you've got this thing and then you can actually, what you do is it comes with this silver basket that you put on here and that you actually put your tea in and you steep it in the container, and then after a lot of time you actually just twist that off, put it aside, and then screw this back on, and then it's a nice smooth lip for drinking, easy to clean too actually. Where is the pattern for the Abby shawl? Has someone thrown a link up for that? It is on it is a YouTube tutorial that Bob Wilson 123 has done. It'll be on her website and on her YouTube channel. Claire spelt it both ways. It was confusing. Yeah, I know. Abby had words with Claire. It's all good. It's all good now. The Abby shawl is on my make list anyway, so thought I'd kill two birds with one stone. May want to keep it for myself. Oh my gosh. Hooly dooly, I didn't realise there were costs involved with getting an ABN. I'll talk to you about that later. I don't remember there being any costs in getting an ABN. There were costs in registering my business name, but I don't remember paying any costs for my ABN. I suppose did you just go through, I don't know. I'll talk to you, remind me to message you later, Sally. Simone says, you've got a virus called RSV in your throat. Drink loads and loads of water and you need more rest, the only cure. Oh, Simone, I'm trying to get more rest because my asthma's playing up. I'm not sleeping, which would explain the sore throat because I have bronchial asthma, which means I have coughing fits. And so everything is all playing with each other, making life miserable. Christine says, I remember I remember paying any for my ABN either. Yeah, I didn't pay for my ABN. I would look into how the website that you're on to register for it. Hi everyone, running late. Hi Lisa Lenton, welcome to the chat. Did your parcel arrive is a question that I have for you. Do you have your parcel? I shipped it. Leanne says, I don't think we had cost for getting our ABN, but it was many years ago. Yeah, I got my ABN, it'd be coming on to 8 years ago now, so maybe they've changed the rules, but I can't imagine why they would charge you for an ABN unless you're like going through like some accountant to get them to do it, because then they charge you to do everything. Oh, she did get her parcel. Fantastic. Samantha says, you wouldn't believe how many people have spelt mine. Think I've spelt my own name wrong. Oh, I get corrected for spelling my middle name. I've got a really unusual middle name, and it's Pamela. It's not Pamela. It's Pamela. It has 2 L's. And the number of times when I'm handwriting a form, I'm corrected. And you're just like, I know how to spell my own name, man. I know how to do that. Talking about business application, domain name registration, and GST registration. Okay, so business name registration costs, domain name registration costs, and I'm not registered for GST, so I can't answer that question. Simone says, I'm asthmatic too. Thanks, but gotta go. Much love and rest. I will try, Simone. Have a great day. I'll definitely try. Kim Scullen has got a link here. Applying for your ABN is free. Those of you that don't know what on earth we're talking about, in Australia, to have a business, you need an ABN, which is an Australian business number. To apply for wholesale accounts and things like that, you need to have it. And then having an ABN, you need to, and Jackie is right here, if you want to have it under a business name, you have to register the business name first. And that does cost, and it depends on the state you're in as to how much it costs. In Queensland, I had to lodge the forms in person. It wasn't an online thing. That was many years ago now. Hopefully they've changed that rule. That rule was dumb. Do Chiaogoo have 16-inch cables? They have a 14-inch cable, and they have a, what's the next size? Hang on a second. So 14-inch cable are the 35s, and then they have the 55s, which is a 22. So they do not have a 16-inch cable. If you want a 16-inch circular, you need an 8-inch cable and 2 4-inch tips. You can buy a 16-inch fixed. You can buy a 16-inch fixed circular, but it's not interchangeable. But otherwise, yeah, I would be getting an 8 and then the tips. That's what I would do. Pamela is this, that's right, it is. See, what it is my grandmother on my dad's side's name was Pamela, and my mum wasn't keen on the name Pamela, and that was the compromise. Pamela. And I'm okay with it. I quite like it, you know. And but it did mean that, like, because I was an Anderson, so I had like a long first name, a longish middle name, and then a long surname. So quite often I didn't have enough boxes on forms for everything. So yeah, made life fun. I quite often just left out my middle name. Yeah, good point, Chintamani. Good point. Try Chintamani. That's exactly right. That is a hard one. Yeah, and I remember having to ask you how to pronounce it as well, because I was reading it and saying it so wrong and destroying your name every time I read it out loud. So that was I believe you. What is Christine Crisp? Oh my godding at? Oh my god! Oh my godding! That's right, Leanne. I get asked how to spell Doyle. Oh my gosh! Hey guys, just remember to choose live chat, not top chat, because then you can see all the messages. Yeah, that was dumb. Okay. Um, yeah, that was it, Christine. That was it. Um, love my yarn bowl. I made it so cool. I love the yarn bowl too. I think that yarn bowl pattern that Claire Bartowski's put up is awesome. And I just love it. Look, I'll show you again. It's over in the Fibrific Fun Zone. She's leaving it there for anyone to make. It is written in UK terms, so if you girls are in the US and you're not used to translating your patterns, just remember, translate this one. You'll end up with something weird and hinky if you don't. But yeah, it's just a really simple pattern, and I love it. I still only have the one. I keep meaning to make some more, but I'm also like, I just want to finish this project, and if I make more, then I've got bowls for other projects to cart, and then I might take them instead of this one, which I don't want to do. Andrea says, I've made 5 of them now. See, Andrea? I don't want to make 5. I just want to finish this shawl, says Chantel, who has not knit a single stitch on this shawl during the entire live stream. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think I'm a little frazzled. Today I'm probably just a bit hypo, so I apologise for my hypo-ness. That's not a word, but okay, we're going with it. Because I've got so many things on, and then this afternoon, I'm so scared and nervous about going to this YouTuber event. It's one of those things where you guys all know, like you guys that watch this live stream, you know that I'm not comfortable with what I do. Like, put me in front of a dye pot, I'm fine. Put me in front of this live stream, I'm fine. But you put me in front of a group full of people, and I used to be fine, but I'm not fine anymore. So now I'm going into a group full of people who are they're all big YouTubers, or at least I think, my brain's telling me they're all big YouTubers. So they're probably not. They're probably fine. And I felt the same way before I went to VidCon the first time. And I was like, I stressed out going down, and then once I got there, I was like, right, okay, it's fine. And I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen when I get there. But I always find these sorts of things stressful. Who bailed on us? Hang on a second. I'm still running as far as I'm aware. I'm still running according to me. I have had a coffee this morning. Yeah. We could flank here like security and move on. Fibrific coming through. Oh, really, Kim? Sorry, I didn't notice it. I've got my little screen. What I should do is tilt it this way so I can see when it bails on you, rather than just checking it after. Oh, sorry. I'm bailing on Caffeinated Crafters. I thought the stream had dropped out. I'm sorry. I was confused. But yes, there is no Caffeinated Crafters tonight. Oh, hello. That just fell over. And I won't be there, so it is off. I'm sorry. And I didn't cancel it because I wasn't going to be there. You guys all cancelled it, but I was unable to make it because I'm going to this thing in the city, which I think part of it is because I'm going to a thing in the city. It's not even like it's this YouTuber workshop. It's not. It's a thing in the city. So I've got the whole going to the city, and people and scaring, and yeah, it's all bad. Naturecraft says, dude, I co-host a cross-stitch group meeting once a month. I have to confer with the librarian and set up the tables. It sends my anxiety disorder through the roof. Yeah, well, I mean, how do I put this? I don't think I have an anxiety disorder, and because I don't want to diminish those of you that actually have one, but I do get anxious on occasion, and I do get, I don't even know if anxious is the correct word anymore. But I do get nervous and I stress out a little bit, and I do calm down and I do relax once I'm there, usually, as long as it's not like, as long as there's no people touching me, I'm okay. But yeah, it's you know, it's a little bit insane because I've never had like issues with that sort of thing growing up. It wasn't until I started working for myself at home all the time. So yeah, And I think it was because I was out of practice. I'm out of practice of talking with people. Like I feel like I'm talking with you guys right now, but I know in reality I'm not. I'm maintaining eye contact with a webcam, not with a human person. And I know that when I talk to people and they look over your shoulder, I'm like, what? I don't realize that eyes move. It's not a static thing. And so I'm just out of practice. And I will get back into practice more now that I have Andrea coming to visit all the time. No one is going, that is right. I sat in front of the library waiting for it to open and about froze to death. It was cold. I bet. Andrew says, I have to go clothes shopping after this, and I am not looking forward to that. I totally get you. I'm not a fan of clothes shopping. I don't like it. And I don't like that big girls like me are supposed to wear floral, apparently, because everything is floral, and I hate floral so much. Well, I hate most floral. I've got this really cool red top that I like that is floral-ish, but I like that one. Nature says maybe some mild agoraphobia or anxiety about being in public. Yeah, I think it's more about being in public, and it's more of a personal space thing. Yeah. It's definitely a personal space thing. I know at Bendigo, if anyone's been in my stall at Bendigo, I have a moat. I have me, and I have the table of stock, and I'll run around and I'll talk to everybody, but there is normally always that table. So my husband says I have quite a large personal space issue. I like to be on this couch and he can sit on the other couch. This is my couch. Yeah. I had to replace my wardrobe after losing 40 pounds and I flew out of a department store in tears. They didn't have clothes for me in my size. Yeah, it can be upsetting. For sure. I've definitely left clothes shopping in tears. Just, you know, it's not good. Christine says you can be anxious without having an anxiety disorder. Sounds like you're mostly an introvert. Oh, I'm definitely an introvert. There's no doubt about that. I am a outgoing introvert. So when I am in a public space, sort of like this is how I talk. I'm outgoing, I talk, I laugh, I get involved in the conversation. But when I get home, I am a mess. I've got no energy, I'm completely drained, and I just need time out on my own just to sort of recharge the batteries, and then I can go again. So it's kind of it's a bit weird. It's my husband, it took him a little while to adjust because he is more of an introvert, but a quiet introvert, unless he gets to know people, and then he's not an introvert anymore at all. He's definitely outgoing, but it took him a little while to understand my recharge process, and now he's like, okay, we're going to go and do this thing, but I haven't planned anything for Sunday, so you can relax. And I'm just like, thank you. Shanti doesn't like being hugged. No. I like to initiate hugs with people that I know, but other than that, no. I went to a bunch of my local, sorry, I'm reading two different messages together. Hang on. I went to a bunch of stores and found nothing. I'm kind of picky. I don't want to dress like a hoochie or an old lady. I know that feeling. Yeah. I finally went to my local Coles at like 10 p.m. and found clothes. Imagine that. Should have gone there first. I just walked there after my kids were asleep. Stores were virtually empty. It was pretty good. None of our shops here are open at that sort of time, which is a shame. There are times where I need space. Everyone has to get far away from my bubble, and heaven forbid if someone touches me. I try not to make a big deal of it, but I'm like, you're touching me. What's going on? Please stop that. I do not like it. But it's all with my eyes. I'm just like, so yeah, it's very bad. Hugs are for my parents. Yeah. Lindsay says I could fake being a people person pretty well until I say something idiotic. Oh, I put my foot in my mouth all the time. You guys know that. I'm terrible. Christine says outgoing introvert here too. Yeah, outgoing introverts. My hubby has a personal space issue since his fall. It comes from the executive area of the brain, which is where his injury is. I've learnt so much about anxiety in the past 2 years. Yeah, I don't like anyone going anywhere near my legs or being anywhere near where I need to step because of how my knees are. Zebra says, I'm okay with hugging people, I know, but I have to be super careful because I can dislocate really easily. Oh yeah, that would definitely be a thing. That would definitely be a thing. yeah, oh my gosh. You know, you guys are really reassuring me that I'm totally not alone in feeling this way. And I'm actually calming down reading more and more and more of your stories. Sorry, I just was reading and I just realized, it just clicked in my head that I'm not by myself. And like, do you know, okay, this is a really weird thing. I'm not going by myself. I'm going with a friend. She's meeting me here. We're driving in together. And I'm all like, oh, I'm frazzled. And she's like, why are you frazzled? So yeah, I'm not even going on my own. Sally says I'm such a big introvert. Yeah, look, I think a lot of people are. Definitely a lot of people in this space, in this online community space, a lot of us work in our homes, in this sort of safety. I mean, I'm very lucky in that I have like an external space. My house is over there, and I'm in this shed, and I'm very lucky that I have that. But the reality is, I don't leave my yard. I don't get my car. I don't go anywhere. My idea of a big day out driving is like I had to do school runs and grocery shopping. Other than Bendigo. Bendigo's huge. And that's another part of the whole Bendigo thing for me, is organising all the stuff, pre-booking everything, so that I can just pull in to my accommodation. I know it's booked, I know it's reserved, I just grab my keys. They know. I've used the same motel in Dubbo for years. And they're like, hey, do you want your meal in your room? Rather than going into the dining room. I'm like, yes, please, thank you. Leanne says, but you're a great hugger. Oh, thanks, Leanne. Once I get used to people, I calm down and I'm amiable. I was trembling at the last cross-stitch meeting and trying to hide it. I totally understand that, Nature's Craft. I really do. Chintami says, after working at home for 5+ years, too many people are just wrong. I agree with you, for sure. Sally says, filling out this ABN form is giving me anxiety. It's just, I hate it if I have to ring a company that I know I'm going to have to like repeat myself 4 times. That bugs me. Courage says, what I think we all think is that we are here because we like you a lot, identify with you, appreciate your energy and your knowledge, love your happy presence, don't worry, you are loved here. Thank you, Courage. I appreciate that. Two Arctic Wolf says, you're going into the unknown. That's what I don't like. Yeah, I'm going to an event I've never been to before. I've actually never qualified for a YouTuber event before. This time the qualification was female, so I was like, sweet, I'm in. So it wasn't a hard, you know, especially being born a female, it was not a hard, you know, box for me to tick. No, I'm knitting lace and I accidentally yanked the needle out. Oh, no. Can you pick up all your stitches? Please tell me you can. Marion says, I go home, I shut the gates, and I have video intercom like my alone time. I like that a lot. Oh, Donna has a question in case you missed it. Hang on, thank you. I'm just going to scroll back and check for Donna's question. Oh, what does your husband do? My husband's an accountant. So he goes to work every day. He's a financial management accountant, so he works for like big companies, not accounting firms. So he's one of like heaps of accountants in a company, like does project management and stuff. Thank you for for that, Leanne. Rowan says, I'm an exo introvert. Basically, I need to be social, but once I'm out there, I freak out on the inside and need to be alone. Yep. I'm really good at like, right, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do a thing, and planning it. And then there's that meme that goes around that's like someone rings up and cancels and you're like, sweet! Even though you planned it and it was your thing, you're like, I get to stay at home. I'm actually really excited sometimes. Like, I'll be like, okay, I've got to go and do this stuff, and then it gets cancelled and you're like, oh, what a shame. I shall watch Star Trek. Oh yeah, Tamantha, I agree with you. Like those people who walk around doing stuff like that. Tamantha's talking about, I screamed, don't touch me at a masseuse at a local ag show once. They were walking around in the crowd giving free shoulder massages trying to get customers. but wouldn't take no for an answer. Man, that is just rude. You should totally ask before they lay hands. Absolutely. I'd be like, no thanks. Don't like people touching me. Go away. Saying that, I had a masseuse who I went to every week, and it was really hard the first couple of weeks, and then after that it was great. Unusually awesome. Welcome to the chat. Naturecraft says, oh my god, I hate talking on the phone. I used to be an admin assistant. Yeah, like I used to be an accounts clerk. So doing accounts payable and accounts receivable. One of my jobs was ringing people going, hey, why haven't you paid your bill yet? And I could do it. I had no problems with it. But now I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do any of this. People, oh. I think it's just some people, really. Christine says my daughter refuses to speak unless it's a video call. Yeah, that's frustrating because sometimes I am not presentable. Abby and I tend to message each other a lot. Like even in the house, Tim will be like, oh, you don't think it's time for Abby to go to bed? And I just grab my phone, Abby, go to bed. I'm the worst mother. And then she's like, okay, and like yells it out. I think I overthink every jolly thing before, during, and after I go anywhere new. Oh, me too, Leanne. Me too. Totally. Marion says, I thought I was the only one who loves a cancellation. No, I think there's quite a lot of us. I think there's quite a lot of us. And I think that's why tonight got cancelled. Oh, we all went, oh, we could go out or we could stay at home. Oh, I hate it when people cancel at the cross-stitch group. I get upset. Oh, that's a shame, Naturecraft. I think if I was going to Caffeinated Crafters tonight and everyone cancelled, I would be upset sitting there by myself. But we've been going there now for so long, I swear that the staff would come and sit with us, or sit with me. Even just while I was like eating or something to come and keep me company. I was fighting tears because I thought no one was going to show up last time. The thing is that this is something I've had to learn for myself, and honestly I don't always practice what I preach, okay? But the reality is, it's not about us. It's not about us going to all the effort or setting things up. It's about the other person and what they're going through. And while, like my very first Caffeinated Crafters, I swear I nearly didn't go. Because I set up this group, I put it out there, hey, there's this group, anyone wants to come, they can come. I'd gotten no RSVPs. I'd been asked a bit of information like from a few people, but no one had actually been like, oh yeah, I'm definitely coming. And so I was very much like, oh man, what am I walking into the unknown. Thank you for that. And I'm like, oh, and then I get there and there was Tammy and Joss sitting at this table. They knew each other and they were like, oh, hi, and then it was fine. Like we all sort of, it took a second. It's a little bit like, hi, I'm Chantel. They're like, we know. And it was a little bit stressful, but the thing I have to remind myself over and over again, if people can't make it, it's not that they're letting me down. It's just they've got stuff on in their life that means they can't make it, and they don't see this thing the same way you do. For me, not going this week was such a hard decision, but the reality is no one minded. No one was like, oh my god, I can't believe you're not going, or you know, it was just fine. But yeah, absolutely, Sally, send me a message later. I may not be able to get it to it today though. I'm pretty packed today. The worst is Girl Guide selling cookies. Oh my gosh. I'll give you any advice I can give you, but our businesses are pretty different, so I may not be able to help too much, but anything I can do to help, I will do. I hate those people who stand outside shopping centres trying to sell stuff or get you to donate money. I feel guilty not talking to them. They don't like that I am feeling, but I don't like that I'm feel pressured by them just by them being there. They're basically hawkers, right? And I take offense at all of those people. The only ones I ever talk to are like not Lion Brand, like Lions Club or something like that. But when it's like the ticket sellers or the check your electricity, blah, 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 and it is just, I just think like their whole sales pitch is wrong. It does not work. I don't know if it works in other countries. It doesn't work in Australia. So these companies end up paying these people to go and do this stuff. Half the time they cannot tell you the answers to your questions. And they're like, oh, we're not going to sign you up for anything today. And I'm like, well, I'm going because I'm not interested anyway. And they're like, no, but just listen to what I have to say. And I'm like, I'm here to grocery shop. I'm not here to look at electricity bill pricing stuff. It's not where my brain is. I'm sorry. Goodbye. So, yeah, they're very frustrating. Yeah, that's right. They need to let me do my shopping in peace. Absolutely. Andrea fixed a problem. Yes, go Andrea. I make no eye contact with them and then give them the widest berth possible. Oh, see, I don't. I give them full eye contact, and then when they go hi, I go hi, and then walk as fast as I can away. And like, I've literally had ones go, wait, and they like follow after you. I'm like, I've got somewhere to be, and it's not with you. Bye-bye. And they're like, oh, okay. They need a proper, look, some of them that's what they do. And I don't want to belittle their job. I just think it's not a good business idea. Unless it's a super hot fireman. Not seen one, personally. The fire dudes that come to my local shopping centre are not in my age bracket. Let's just go with that. I've learnt to not expect groups to last. The knitting group at the library fizzled out. And sometimes it's your area, sometimes it's the group itself and how it's run. Kim actually runs a really vibrant crochet group, so she'd be a good one to talk to about setting up that sort of crochet group. For me, Caffeinated Crafters is more like just a chill and hang out zone. We go to a coffee shop, we sit down, I order dinner, and I'll pull out craft if I've got some, and that's kind of it. And it's, you know, there's no plan, there's no agenda, there's nothing. Sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, guys, I've got a thing for you to see, but that's about it, yeah. Andrea says the dudes selling the calendars aren't firefighters. Why are they wearing firefighter uniforms then? Because that's wrong, that's false advertising, although it does explain a lot. But yeah, guys, I'm going to have to run. I have let us run over a little bit today. The conversation has been fantastic. You've all been amazing and really encouraging and friendly. If you haven't already joined, jump over to the Fibrific Fun Zone. If you want to help out with technical gear and what have you, you could maybe go and check out what we're doing on Patreon. I know I've just tossed that right in at the end. Ha, Kim. But if you just look up Fibrific on Patreon, you can check out what that is. But guys, I'm going to have to scoot. I've got to pack all this up and do another job. MSAK Spain or Addie is nearly finished. Woohoo! And so yeah, so you guys just have a fantastic week. Sally has an ABN number. Yeah, go Sally. Now go and plug that into the King Cole website and get that yarn. So you guys get all your stuff done, do all the things that you want to do, and we'll chat again next week for sure. At this stage, it is a dye stream next week, unless it's like ridiculously hot, and then it won't be. But if it's not ridiculously hot, we are dyeing next week. So we'll see you later. Bye!